again to Up&Up Parenting, Parenting Parachutes. Today we're going to talk about how to get kids to do what they're supposed to do. I guess is a huge overview, but it's kind of specifically figuring out why the different reasons that your child may not be doing what you want them to do and addressing those in different ways. Because there's different reasons why kids don't mind, and then obviously there's different interventions then. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to use an example of mine that I think will help people understand what I'm talking about. So I play tennis and I don't always hit the ball in. So when I hit the ball out, there's lots of reasons why I make that mistake. One reason, and only one potential reason, is motivation. And that's where we tend to go with our kids. If they don't clean their room, we say, you should want to, why aren't you doing that? You know it's your job, you're being defiant, you just don't want to. And we try to give them either motivation and rewards or avoiding punishment to get them to do that. And I'll tell you right now, that's not going to help me hit a tennis ball in. When I always want to hit the tennis ball in.
Right. Yeah. That's how you win the game.
Right. Right. So if I hit the tennis ball out and my tennis partner says, it's really important to hit the ball in, this is really, really important. That doesn't help me if motivation isn't the hurdle that's blocking me. If
Right.
motivation is the hurdle that's blocking me, if I'm just like goofing around and they're like, we're going to win $50 if we win this tennis match, then I might start paying a little more attention and hit the ball in. But if it's not motivation, trying to motivate me isn't going to fix the problem.
Hmm.
Another thing sometimes my tennis partner will say is, we get the point if you hit the ball in. And they're like, I already know that. So sometimes when people don't do what we're wanting them to do, it's because they truly don't have the information. And
Hmm.
there are some things about tennis that I don't have the information about.
Right.
Like, if you bend your knees, it's easier to control your swing. And if you're talking about your children, sometimes kids literally don't know um, that it's their job to pick up their dirty clothes or why they pick up dirty towels off the floor. And sometimes it's simply saying, bacteria grows in warm, wet, dirty spots. So leaving your towel on the floor makes bacteria grow. Leaving food
Hmm.
in your room invites mice and bugs. Putting the milk away keeps it from getting spoiled. So doing your homework helps create a pattern so that, when you're older and working, you get to buy a whole bunch of things because you know how to complete tasks. So if the problem is they don't have the information, absolutely give them the information. If the problem is they don't have the motivation, sure, help motivate them, make them a star chart. But if they don't have the information, a star chart isn't going to help. And if they don't have the motivation, giving them a bunch of information also isn't going to help. So you kind of figure out where the issue is. Another main area where the issue could be is literal skill level. Sometimes we ask our kids to do things that they don't have the skill to do yet. And that's where my tennis falls short. I know how to do it. I want to do it. I just can't do it.
Yeah.
And that can be as simple as like remembering to do homework. Um, it, some kids haven't developed that skill yet.
Hmm.
So, just the parenting parachute for today is to kind of think about why your child isn't doing what you're asking them to do, and maybe think about it a little harder than you usually do, and try to figure out if the issue is with lack of information, lack of skill, lack of motivation, or some other an emotion that might be getting in the way. Maybe they're frightened or uh, ashamed, or some other emotion might be getting in the way. A real quick example of information is sometimes if you tell your child, wipe the kitchen counter or clean your room, and then you go back and you say, you didn't wipe the kitchen counter. And they said, I did wipe the kitchen counter. And you say, no, you didn't. I still see crumbs. And they say, but I did. It may be that they're being defiant, or it may be that nobody has ever said to them what I had to say once was that you have to think of it like a checkerboard, and you have to hit every square,
Hmm.
because I had them wiping the counter just like whoop, just a real quick swipe.
Right.
They were wiping the counter. They had no idea why I was mad at them. Or it's the same thing with cleaning their room. If they have a different idea of what a clean room is than
Hmm.
you do, they're going to say, yes, I did clean my room. And you're going to say, no, you didn't clean your room. Sometimes it's as simple as saying, I need to be able to run the vacuum cleaner in here, so everything that shouldn't be picked up by the vacuum cleaner has to be up off the floor in its proper spot,
Right.
or something as simple as that. So just kind of spend a little time wondering or asking or having the child explain why they're not doing what you've asked them to do. And that's my quick parenting parachute for the day.